Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get right into today's video. Before we get any further, I do want to give a big thank you to MelodySusie for sponsoring today's video. And in today's video, I am going to be trying some of the new MelodySusie plant-based gel nail polish. I am actually really excited for this. I did already open up these two boxes and take a quick peek at the two color collections, just because this really intrigued me that they are plant-based. I think that is really cool, and I have not ever tried any gel polish that is plant-based. So we do have two collections, and these are both 10-piece sets, and they are 10 ml bottles. So we get a total of 20 here, and I just want to open both of these sets up so we can quickly take a look at these two color collections. So let's go ahead and start with this one. I don't know if they have a name. I'm sure they do have a name, but I don't see it anywhere on the box. I will have these linked down below in the description box for you all. But here is how the colors are laid out, and this looks like a neutral nudes, maybe brown tone set. So I just pulled off this top foam layer here, and then here are the 10 colors. I want to pull out one of the gel polish bottles because look at this. Oh my goodness, this is cute. I like the shape of the bottle. I also like just the theme, since they are plant-based. I feel like the color of the bottles are really nice. These gel polishes are also HEMA-free and TPO-free. So let's open these and take a look at the colors. I think I may also, if I can find the time, I will also try to insert the swatching clips. But let's just go ahead, take these all out, and I want to open up the polishes out of the bottles first. So we have the first polish, B2804. Oh my goodness, look at this color. It's like a deep red maroon. And oh, I'm loving that it's an oval shaped brush. You guys know I love those oval shaped brushes. They make applying the polish around the cuticle area super easy. B2207. This is a like a light brown color. Very pretty. This collection looks like it's going to be great for fall. B2807. We have another red. This one is a little bit more red, but it is a deeper red color. B2203. This one is another brown, nude color. I want to say almost like a little bit mauve-y, like it has a little bit of a reddish tone, pinkish tone in it. B2206. This one is another brown. It's a little bit darker than that first brown color, almost giving a good chocolatey brown. B2202. This one is like a purple, I want to say purple, almost like a brown, but it definitely is purple plum color. B2409. This one is a light pink, like a sandy pink almost. B2408. This one is a light cream color. B2410. This one is another pink. So pretty. I really like this one. This one may be my favorite from the collection. I don't know, just something about this color, it really draws my eye to it. And then the last one, B2401. This is another I want to say a really light pink with a little bit of maybe an orange tint to it. So those are all of the colors from that first collection. Now let's go ahead and open up this next collection. This one also has 10 gel polishes. Okay, and this one looks like it's a little bit more of a variety. I feel like we're still kind of sticking on that fall theme. But that first one, the first collection, that was a little bit more of our neutrals. Now we do have some different pops of color in here. So the bottles from this collection or set is the same, 10 ml. These are also plant-based. So we have B2902, and this is a yellow gel polish. B2301. This one is a dark green gel. I really like this green. Pretty. B2802. This one is a very bright red. B2021. This one is a white gel polish. Perfect. White, I always love a good white. And then with that also being said, B2001, this one is a black gel polish. I love how both a black and a white is included in this collection. B2803, this one is another red, almost more of like a rusty red color. B2302, this is another green, just a lighter green color. B2502, this one is an orange. I feel like it's giving like a bright pumpkin orange. B2702, this is a purple, a light purple. And then the last color from this collection, B2701, this one is a dark purple, like a plum color. So here are how my natural nails are looking before any natural nail prep. I'm going to go through the steps with you all for natural nail prep, and I will be skipping out on using an e-file or a nail drill just because I know sometimes beginners, they don't have an e-file and they wouldn't want to purchase one, or you may just not want to purchase an e-file and you still want to be able to get good nail prep. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my cuticle pusher and push back my cuticles. Something else that you can also use is a cuticle remover or like a cuticle softener. I was going to try that out today, but for some reason I just cannot find mine. I don't know where it went. I have never used one before, and I just thought today would be a good day since I'm not using an e-file. So I would recommend a product like that just because I have seen other people use it, and I know that it does really soften up your cuticles and allows to remove any of the dead cuticle from your natural nail plate very easily. So I did push back my cuticle, and now I'm going to go in with the opposite end here, and I am going to use this to help scrape up any of the dead cuticle. This is really where that like cuticle softener would just come in very good. Like it would be a good time to use it, especially if you do have a lot of overgrown or stubborn cuticle, because a lot of the times when I do have that stubborn cuticle, that is when I will want to pull out my e-file and use an e-file. But with the cuticle softener, it will soften everything up, and pushing back and scraping it up will remove it completely from your natural nail, which is great. So once I am finished with that, I'm now going to take some cuticle nippers, and I'm just going to nip up any cuticle that I may have missed over with like the cuticle pusher. This is another thing. I personally do not feel cuticle nippers are beginner friendly, but that's just my personal preference. I was so scared to use these things when I first started doing my nails, and I'll be honest, I still am. I feel like they are really scary. You have to be very careful with what you're cutting. Another big thing is having a good pair of cuticle nippers is really going to save you in the long run versus having some cheap pair. Because I remember when using a cheap pair of cuticle nippers, it was like impossible to use them. They would not cut anything, and I would just like be cutting my skin and nicking myself so much. But I feel like this is important if you are not using an e-file, because cuticle growth is going to be something that makes your nails not last as long or cause lifting. So to further go in, I am going to take this tool here, which I really don't know the name of it. It's almost like a buffer or a file, but I'm going to use this up around the cuticle area and kind of just take it and go in and use it like a file here. Just see right there, it's already pulling up more of that cuticle that I did miss with the cuticle pusher. So I'm going to go ahead and use this and just take it all along my cuticles, and I feel like this is going to take the place of like a cuticle bit that I would use in my e-file. So that was very, very helpful. I'm very impressed with this because I feel like this did take the place of like my cuticle bit that I would use with an e-file, and it did the same exact thing. And if I didn't have an e-file, all I would need was this little simple tool here, and it worked perfectly. So I am now going to take a stiff dust brush and just brush away all of the nail dust. At this point, you do want to make sure that you are not washing your hands. That's something to keep in mind. You may think like, oh, I have dust on my hands, let me go wash them quickly, but do not do that, because that is actually going to bring in oils, and like if you're using soap, unnecessary oils onto our natural nail plate, and we are trying to cleanse our nails, not with soap and water currently. So we want to just make sure that we are just using a dust brush or even a lint-free wipe with some rubbing alcohol or a alcohol wipe. So with that being said, I'm now going to take a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and I'm going to just spritz some onto the brush here, and I'm going to go back in and just brush over the nails. This is going to help further remove any of the dust and also just cleanse the nail plate. So you can already see my nails are drying out, but now with that step being done, I can now look and see if I do have any more cuticle that I may need to go in and clean up just before doing the next step. The next step, I am going to take a hand file and I am going to remove the shine from my natural nail. I don't want to file into my natural nail. That is something to definitely keep in mind. You just want to lightly go over your nail surface and remove the shine. This, you can also use a buffer to do this, or of course, if you have an e-file, you can use a sanding band with a fine, or a Mantrol drill bit with a fine grit sanding band. But as you guys know, in today's video, I'm focusing on how to prep your natural nails without needing a nail drill. So I'm just gonna go in here and just lightly go over the surface of my natural nails, just so I can remove that natural shine. Now that I have the natural shine removed from my natural nails, I'm going to go back in with my stiff dust brush and just brush away all of the nail dust. I'm also just going to spritz a little bit more rubbing alcohol and go back in with the rubbing alcohol. I really like using this because it really does remove any of the stubborn dust, and you can also see that it will help dry out my natural nails. And that's great because if you don't actually have a nail dehydrator, just using an alcohol pad or some rubbing alcohol, that is going to help to dehydrate your natural nails. Now with that being said, I'm going to take my nail dehydrator and I'm going to apply a layer of this to all of my nails. Like I said, the rubbing alcohol did already pretty much dry out my natural nails, but just a little further step here, I always like to go in with the regular nail dehydrator because I feel like that really just removes any oils from my natural nail plate. Next step, I am going to go in with my nail primer and I'm going to add a layer of primer to my natural nails. This is going to allow for a better adhesion, and I'm just going to apply a thin coat of that to all of the nails. I do like to mention, if you do struggle with lifting, I recommend going in with 2 coats of primer. I always do that when I'm doing my toenails, and I feel it has really saved my toenails and helped my toenails last a lot longer. But I'm just going to let that dry for a quick minute since it is an air dry product. Then I am going to go in with my base coat and I'm going to apply a layer of base coat to all of my nails, and then I will cure in my nail lamp. I seriously cannot believe this right now, but I just found my cuticle remover just as I was finished prepping my nails. So if you guys would like to see me try that, leave a comment down below so I do remember to use that in like an upcoming prep video, because I personally would also really like to try it. But now that our nails are prepped, I am ready to size out my nail tips, and I'm going to be using some medium almond instant apex nails today. A quick little tip for you all, I would recommend sizing out your nail tips before prepping your natural nails, but because I do the prep pretty much just for educational purposes and kind of just show you all what I would do if I was actually going to be wearing the nails, keeping the nails on. So I actually did just go in with a peel off base coat. So that's kind of why I just size out now, but I would recommend doing that before you actually go in with prepping your natural nails. Another thing is I am not going to need to prep the nail tips because they are already pre-etched. But if your nail tips are not like that, I would recommend prepping your nail tips because I personally feel that is a very important step if you do want the longevity. You can either prep with like this tool here, like I used for around the cuticle. You can use this to etch the inside of the nail tip, or you can even use your primer to chemically etch. But again, I don't need to do that because these nail tips are already prepped. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these sized out and just place them here on my palette. When you are sizing out your nail tips, you do want to make sure that you are choosing nail tips that fit you properly. If the nail tip is too large or too small, you are at risk for the nail tip popping off and not lasting as long. So just be sure that when you are sizing, the nail tip is fitting from sidewall to sidewall. And if you ever need to do any customizing, just take a hand file and customize that nail tip so you can get the perfect fit. Nail tips are now all sized out and I am going to get them applied. I have my flash cure light here, and then I'm also just going to be using some nail glue to apply them. I will be doing flash cures in between applying each of the nail tips. And then once I do have them all applied, I'll be sure to go into my large full powered nail lamp and do my full cure. I also do just quickly want to mention, even though I did showcase doing my natural nail prep without using an e-file, I will say MelodySusie has some really amazing e-files, nail drills, even like nail lamps, dust collectors available. So if you are interested, if you want to splurge, if you want to pick something up because you have just tried using no e-file to prep your nails, but it just is not working, go ahead and check out MelodySusie because like I said, they do have some really amazing e-files available, and they also have great affordable prices too. I recently tried their pocket nail drill and it's a really great one. It's small, it's compact, and it's also very affordable. I'll have that video linked up in the cards in case you do want to check that out. But I just wanted to say that because sometimes the nail prep that you're doing, you might be like following all the steps of any video that you're watching and then your nails just aren't lasting and you're wondering like, what is going on? It may just be that you have a little bit more of like a stubborn cuticle, and an e-file would really help with that. My nail tips are now all applied. I did the full cure. I also went in with a little bit of filing and buffing and just brushed away the nail dust. I am now ready to do my nail design, and I'm gonna do a Halloween nail look today, something that I did find on Pinterest. I thought it looked really cute and also very easy and beginner friendly to do. I'll go ahead and insert the photo on screen. I am going to be doing this Halloween nail look today. I just thought it was really cute having the different Halloween colors and the Halloween faces. So I am first going to start off with my base colors. I am going to be using an entire collection, so like the second collection that I showed, I will be using the green, orange, white, and black. Those will be the 4 colors that I will be using for the entire nail look today. So I am going to go in with the gel polish colors, apply them to the nails, doing a different color on each of the nails, except for I will be doing 2 white nails. But I will go in with 1 coat, cure in my nail lamp for 60 seconds, and then I'll go in with my second coat and do another 60-second cure. I also just wanted to say that with these gel polishes, while I was applying them, I actually noticed that these gels do have a sweet scent to them, which I really like. Now I will say they do still smell like gel polish, but I don't think I've ever smelled gels that have like this sweet smell to them. And I don't usually smell gels, but while I was using them, I was like, wait, what is that smell? So I did smell the gels, and they do have a sweet scent, which I thought was just really crazy, and I really liked it. Now, of course, I'm not going to be sitting here smelling my gel polishes, but at least when using them, I wasn't smelling like super like gel product smell. It was more of just a sweet smell, or even should I say maybe like a natural scent, which I really liked that. Another thing that I want to talk about with these MelodySusie plant-based gels, they are HEMA-free, HPMA-free, and TPO-free. They are also free of 21 harmful chemicals like heavy metals, and that makes them perfect for people with sensitive skin. If you do struggle with gel allergies and if you're allergic to HEMA, I recommend these gel polishes, or if you want a gel without TPO or HPMA, these MelodySusie plant-based gels are definitely for you, and I highly recommend checking them out. They do have so many different colors available, and I think it's worth picking up a collection just so you can even smell the sweet scent that comes off of these gels. So here are the nails after I have the gel polish base color applied. I really am loving these colors, and they really gave me a perfect base. Another thing with these gels, they applied so smooth. It was like butter. They just went on really nicely. They were very good at self-leveling. Also, having that oval shaped brush, it was so easy to get around the cuticle area of the nails. And with that being said, these gels are also long lasting gels, 28 plus days without any chipping, which is another plus to these gels. And also just having them be plant-based and having that sweet scent, these gels are really incredible. So now let's go ahead and do the little faces on these nails. So each nail is going to have a different face. For the green nail, I'm going to be doing a little bit of like a Frankenstein inspired nail. The orange, of course, a pumpkin. The white, a ghost. And then for the black, I'm going to do a little bit of like a Jack Skellington inspired look. So I will be using the black for these 3 nails and then the white for the black nail. I will also be using a liner brush and dotting tool to do all of the nail art. So let's start here with the green nail, which is going to be like a Frankenstein inspired nail. So I'm going to start off with the black and the dotting tool just to create 2 dots for the eyes. And I think I don't want the eyes to be very big. I think that's good for the eyes. And then I'm going to use the liner brush to create the mouth, and then also just some stitches on the nail just to give it a little bit more like Halloween character. The orange nail, I'm going to give it like a jack-o'-lantern face, doing 2 triangles for the eyes, a smaller triangle for the nose, and then I'm going to try to draw like a mouth with like the 2 little teeth, like the basic jack-o'-lantern cutout. The white nail is going to be a ghost, so I'm going to use the dotting tool to create 2 eyes and a mouth using the black gel. And finally, for the last nail, the black nail, I'm going to do like a Jack Skellington inspired nail. I will be using both the dotting tool and the liner brush, and I will also be using the white gel instead of the black gel. I have finished with all of the nail art, making all of the Halloween faces. Look at how cute. I love them all. This is such a great Halloween nail set. It was also very easy to do as well, and you really don't need many gel polish colors. I actually just used one of the collections, which is really nice because if you want to recreate this set, you can just purchase one of the gel collections. So I am now going to go in with my top coat, and I'm going to apply a layer of this to all of the nails and cure. for the nails, after I have my top coat applied and cured, I'm now going to go in with my cuticle oil. I'm going to apply that to my cuticles, rub that in to nourish them, and of course, like I always say, top off the nail set. And here is the finishing look of how these spooky Halloween face nails turned out. I think these turned out awesome. They were also very easy to do, like just simply applying a different base color on all of the nails and creating some fun Halloween faces. I really cannot pick a favorite, but I don't know, this Frankenstein nail, like the green nail, I think that one turned out really cute. I love the little stitches, but the pumpkin nail, that one also turned out a lot better. I was a little bit nervous to draw on the mouth, but I think it turned out really, really good. The ghost nail, I feel like it's pretty basic, and then also the Jack Skellington nail, I feel like that's another basic one. I mean, I don't know, they're all like pretty simple, but still really cute, and I think they pair really nicely together. They give a good Halloween nail look. On the thumb, I did just do another ghost nail just facing this way because it is a personal preference, but I think these nails turned out so cute. I really love these plant-based sweet scented gel polishes from MelodySusie. They are really good quality. I also love that they are free of 21 harmful chemicals like heavy metals, making them perfect for sensitive skin. I highly recommend you checking out the collections. They also do have like a huge collection if you do want to get the entire like plant-based set. That was really cool too, because you can like pick that up and have so many colors, like endless colors to choose from. All of the products that I did use in today's video will be linked down below in the description box in case you guys do want to pick anything up for yourselves. Thank you again to MelodySusie for sponsoring today's video. I really hope you all enjoyed today's video, but as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.